So a new package arrived today and we're gonna unbox it and see what's inside. Should be something really special. Alright, so what I did was some of the hard work of removing the protective boxing wrapper from this. But this is gonna be a really special one. My last video we looked at Office 365 Personal, which is now Microsoft Family, and that's the latest version. But what I'm planning on doing with the channel that I'm starting is looking at versions of the product. I'm thinking of creating a channel about software archaeology. It's a new buzzword I found on Twitter. And I've always liked collecting old software, and you would be surprised how competitive it is these days. And I'm not collecting old software necessarily for the value of it. I'm collecting it because of the historical connections I have with a particular product. Whether it was in high school, something my dad bought for me. So this is kind of just me showing you some of my personal interest in recording it. But this one's a little bit special for me, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it and why it's such a big deal. So let's go ahead and open up the box and see what's inside. So we're already seeing what's at the back of the product, but this one, I'm gonna scoop it to the side a bit, take off the bubble wrap, and then I'm gonna bring it in front and actually get that out of the way. And there we go. It is Microsoft Office 97 Professional Edition, and here's the great thing about this one: it's the full version software. It was upgraded a bit with support for the Pentium 2 processor, but this is a very special version of Microsoft Office, because this is the version of Office that I learned the suite on in high school on IBM Activas. Office 97 holds a really close place in my heart. It's how I learned things like how to do double space linings and how to create a specific orientation of a document, whether that's portrait or landscape. It's how I learned mail merge, how to do data merges, how to create relationships in Microsoft Access, and do queries and stuff like that in that program. And it was just a fascinating introduction to computers for me. And yeah, this is a version that we had on our computers in high school, and those were IBM Aptivas. And at the time, I thought that Microsoft Office was a product that already came preloaded on the computer. So when we got our own personal computer at home, I thought, Office would already be there. And I remember when my dad got the computer at his work place, which is the computer I would call the personal computer, we looked through the programs menu and we were not seeing Microsoft Office. And I even asked friends at high school, how do you get that word thing that you type in? And they were like saying you go into the accessories part and that's where you'll find it. And that was WordPad. I'm like, no, I'm not seeing the things I'm seeing in the computer lab. So this was what was the big deal, and getting this was really hard. And I remember the guy that had set up our personal computer at the office said he would bring a copy of Office for us, and we waited and waited for months to get that copy of Office installed. And I wanted to get a head start learning all these things. I remember my fellow classmates doing really cool projects and bringing their cover pages built in Microsoft Word to school, and friends were asking those friends to make cover pages for them. I was doing the same too, and they would charge like $10 for a cover page. And this was the program, these were the programs that they were using. You know, we didn't really, of course, use PowerPoint or Outlook. I know that higher grade students did learn PowerPoint, but we didn't learn it. But Word, Excel, and Access were the programs we use. There's something special about this particular version of the product. I really like. You know, I think this is when Microsoft was finally reaching mainstream with the Office product suite. It's probably one of Microsoft's most popular versions of Office to date. But I always love the packaging for it. I love the bright colors of the logos. You could see that Microsoft had, you know, eventually defined the look of the suite with these beautiful illustrations of Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, Excel, and Access. And reading Steven Sinofsky's blog, you know, the first version of Outlook wasn't that popular among users because of its requirement to work with the Microsoft Exchange server. But for me, I didn't really care about that, you know. I was just hoping, how could I get Word and all those programs on my computer? But this version of Office is a very monumental release for Microsoft, and it stuck around on a lot of desktops, not just personal desktops, but corporate desktops for many years. You know, even when Office 2000 and 2002 and 2003 around, I saw Office 97 on many computers for years. When I started going to community college, and the client computers were running Windows 2000, the Office suite by default was Office 2000. Office 97. So it stuck around for a very long time, and you know, with each marketing campaign for Office, Microsoft had its special business company, and this one was the Terraform. You might be aware of AdventureWorks was the one for Office 2000, and Contoso has been Microsoft's example company in later releases. But this is a really a little bit of a personal treasure to get. It really brings back a lot of memories, and it's a very heavy box, I can tell you that. But yeah, this is the full version. It's not an upgrade. If it was upgraded, it would be in red. I don't want that version where it has to do the disc checks to see if you have a eligible version. It wouldn't matter to me anyway, although you know I do have versions. But yeah, it's in there. Let me just quickly take that out, since I'm trying to keep these videos under 10 minutes because they take a long time to upload. But yeah, this is the box. You know, I remember even seeing this box in high school, but there it is. That's Office 97. That's the disc. Yeah, it was a really monumental release. And the thing about it, at the time, what it also showed about Microsoft as a company, it was this was still the way even businesses bought their software and deployed it on all their computers. Microsoft had bulk licensing programs at the time, but many businesses would buy software off the shelf like this. Because I remember in high school, the copy of Office that was installed on all the computers in the lab, that copy of Office was in the lab itself. And I remember, you know, maybe a couple years into doing IT in high school, I saw the disk lying around when, you know, Office had to be reinstalled after they defragged the Windows 95 computers, and you know, I took it upon myself to learn how this was installed. And yeah, that's how they did it. But product activation was not in Office 97. That's not until Microsoft's service release 1 of Office 2000 that Microsoft introduced that. But yeah, it's really a big box, and you know, in the old days, Microsoft included pretty much a Bible in there, and this is the manual for getting results. I love this book because these manuals actually gives you tips and tricks how to use Office. And you know, in later versions like Office 2000 and 2002, they didn't do that. It was more, you know, what's the new features that you can check out in Office, but you actually had tips and tricks how to use the features of the suite. But yeah, this is a monumental release, and I just wanted to take a quick look at it. In a future video, what we're gonna do is just do an overview of the software, how it looks, how it works, install it on a vintage computer of that time running the appropriate operating system it's designed for. As you can see here, it says Windows NT and Windows 95, and interestingly, Office 97 ran on Windows 3.1, so that it's just something to know. But I'm gonna run it on more of a contemporary version for the time, which is like Windows 95 um, or Windows NT4. But yeah, that's a quick look at this. It's based on YouTube video length. It's more like a lengthy video. But yeah, this is just a first look. I hope you enjoyed that, and we're gonna talk more in the next video. Thank you for watching, and seeing you in the next one.